Well, hello everybody out there in Atlanta. This is Chris from HLegacy.com with another exciting episode of Topher's Vlog. We are back inside the Agent Legacy Studios, as it were, for another Halloween Horror Nights sort of centric vlog. I wanted to address something really quickly before we kind of move on to today's sort of fun topic. I apologize if the Horror Nights stuff isn't as prominent as it should be. For those that don't know or don't follow me or aren't my close personal knit friends, for the past like 7 or 8 years or so, I've been desperately trying to write a novel, specifically a series of novels. Over the course of the pandemic, I've had the time to sort of finish, or work on it a lot more than I had the past like 7 or 8 years. I've reached a point where I'm kind of on a second draft, and a lot of my spare time when I'm not working, doing vlogs, or kind of in the park, I'm working on my novel. So a lot of my free time, the free time that I have, is kind of on the weekends. So sometimes I'm, trying my best to work on that, and then I'm trying to do this as well. I'm a weekend worker, so whatever time I have in the mornings is usually all spent on that or doing these, and then I have to go to work, and I work sort of at night, so I don't really have the time. I'm out of time, even though the pandemic has given us a lot more time. In terms of like trying to be able to do all this stuff, I'm kind of running out of time. But in terms of this year, when it comes to Horror Nights, actually kind of works out because of the nature of where we are with the event. My vlogs this year for Horror Nights would be more, sort of fun stuff or sort of history noted stuff, like we did the F, Marry, Kill game, the last Horror Nights vlog I did. So I apologize if things for the Horror Nights side of things aren't as consistent. I'm still doing the in-park stuff, usually every Thursdays, because that's kind of where my days off are. Because the other thing is that I don't have set days off. I work every weekend. That's kind of a set thing unless I have vacation, which I have vacation coming up in a couple weeks at the end of April. Kind of weird for me to not have vacation this time of year because I throw an Oscar party every year, and this is usually the time where the Oscar party is, or the Oscars are usually being held, but obviously because of the pandemic, the Oscars and all the award stuff has kind of been pushed, and the Oscars this year are April 25th, and that's my vacation. I usually take, that's one of the vacation days or vacation weeks that I take is the day of the Oscars and like that following week. So I do have vacation coming up then. So, but anyway, I apologize, but I'm trying to do things a little bit more consistently, but I apologize if things are not as I try to finish my novel. But anyway, so on for today's sort of fun topic for Horror Nights. I want to talk a little bit about icons, because I generally tend to stay away from the icon conversation because the icons don't sort of affect me one way or the other. Like I don't really I don't gravitate towards them as some people do. I've said this in the past, I'm kind of sick of Jack. I really wish that they would put him away somewhere. I just don't want to see him anymore. He's just been way too overused. That sort of segues into what I want to talk about, which are icons that are sort of underrated. The ones or the one that you believe, don't really have its due. I'm not going to really talk about Chance because I think Chance, I could choose that for myself as an icon that I think is underrated, but I don't think she's underrated. I think she was just misused, and I could do a whole video on that later on down the road. So we're gonna sort of exclude Chance from this from my brain for the time being. I sort of put the icons in different groups, different tiers. So you've got like the top three with Jack and the caretaker and the director, and then sort of like the middle three, which are like storyteller, Bloody Mary, and Eddie, even though he's not an official icon. And then you could throw Julian Browning in there as well. And then you've got like the lower tier, which are Fear and Lady Luck and Chance. I sort of always gravitate towards Lady Luck. I think that people really give her a hard time for the wrong reasons. I think that people look at like sort of like the shortcomings that she had with like her masks in the park. People sort of harp on her for that. And then they sort of blame marketing for like a whole bunch of other things. But I really like what they did with Lady Luck. I think that Lady Luck is just not as well liked as I would like her to be. I know the sort of Bloody Mary aspect of she's sort of incorporated into all the houses. And while the Bloody Mary part of it, she popped up in certain aspects of the houses back in 2008. With Lady Luck, it was more, you'd have to look at the backstories and stuff like that to sort of figure out where she was woven into the house's mythology that year. But still, I think that she does not get her due justice. I think that she's unfairly treated amongst the Horror Nights faithful, and I would love to see her come back in some way, shape, or form. I know she's popped up in the Icon Scare Zone from 2015, but I would like to see her come back and get another shot at presenting an event for Horror Nights. I love the commercial. I think the commercial is really kind of nifty too, sort of dark and has this sort of black humor twist to it. And of course, there's the famous Patrick Baylor video where he was on the wheel and sort of divulged the secrets of Halloween Horror Nights, that year. I think that there's a lot of stuff there that people sort of, don't look at because they're so preoccupied with the fact that her masks at the actual event weren't very well done. But I don't think that should disqualify her. And then, she didn't have a house. Who cares? I hate that. Just because in the past, all the icons have had houses. Until we reached Fear in 2010, and he didn't have a house, and it was what is this? Just they don't need houses. It's fine. That doesn't bother me. She had a scare zone. Scare zone wasn't the best, but as far as the icon herself, I think that she just doesn't get the attention that I think she warrants. I think Lady Luck, I think she was much better than Fear. And she's way better than Chance, and she just doesn't get any love. So I that would be my pick. But out of all the icons, who do you think that doesn't get their fair justice? And I know probably a lot of people are going to say Chance, but again, I don't want to talk about Chance because I could do a whole video on Chance, and and in terms of just being underrated. There's a lot more problems with Chance that I can go into, and maybe I will someday about how they sort of botched that whole thing. But that's again another topic for another day. But you can put Chance in there. I don't care. But I think a lot of people are gonna say Chance. But that would be my pick is Lady Luck. Who are your favorite icons? Let's take it a step further. Who is your favorite icon? Mine has always been the director. I'm a film guy, so that kind of my brain gravitates towards that aspect of it. Who are your favorite icons, or who do you think are the icons that are the most underrated out there, or who don't get their due justice? Lady Luck. I think that her entire package, I think, is better than the sum of what we got at the event. I think that there's a lot there that I really like, and people just poo-poo on her because her masks are terrible. And it's let's not go there. But yeah, so that's going to be it for me. Remember, I will try to do another video next week. It depends on, if I have the time, or next weekend if I have the time. I'm still doing the in-park stuff pretty much every Thursday, sometimes on Fridays, but every Thursday you can check those out. That's going to do it for me today, guys. Until next time, bye.